Ever hear a song and think, how was this not a hit? 1968 was packed with legendary rock, but some of the best tracks never got the spotlight. Buried B-sides, lost psych gems, and deep cuts that deserve so much more. Let's rewind the tape and uncover 10 obscure rock songs from 1968 that should have been hits. Number 1. Dance On Through by the Human Beings. You probably know the Human Beings for their one big hit, Nobody But Me. But buried in their 1968 album Evolutions is a criminally underrated gem, Dance On Through. Unlike their hit single, this track dives into a more psychedelic groove, layered with hypnotic guitar textures and echo-heavy vocals that practically swirl around you. There's a dreamy sadness baked into it, but it still pulses with rhythm. The production has that warm, lo-fi fuzz of the era, but the band's ambition shines through. What makes Dance On Through stand out is how it mixes energy and introspection. It's catchy, but also moody, perfect for late-night drives or headphone immersion. It deserved a lot more attention than it got, but unfortunately, the band was already fading from the spotlight by the time it dropped. Had it been promoted just a little better, this track could have easily ridden the wave of late 60s psych rock radio. Number 2. Lonely Little Girl by the Mothers of Invention. Frank Zappa's band, the Mothers of Invention, was never afraid to get weird, and that might be exactly why this haunting track slipped through the cracks. Lonely Little Girl, from the 1968 album We're Only In It for the Money, is eerie, beautiful, and strangely delicate. Amid Zappa's usual chaos and satire, this song feels surprisingly sincere. The vocals are layered like voices from another room, with orchestral flourishes and strange tape effects that feel ahead of their time. It's not built for radio, but that's exactly why it's so powerful. There's something intimate and unsettling here, as if we're hearing a personal story through a fog of noise and distortion. It's short, but it lingers with you. If this had come from a more conventional artist, maybe it would have had a chance. But in true Zappa fashion, it stayed under the radar. Too weird for pop, too beautiful to ignore. Holy Are You. Number 3. Holy Are You by the Electric Prunes. Holy is the only way to describe this track, both in title and in sound. By 1968, the Electric Prunes had evolved far beyond the garage psych of I Had Too Much to Dream, Last Night. With Holy Are You, they entered orchestral, almost spiritual territory. Backed by a full choir and sweeping strings, the song feels massive. Like a psychedelic church service that never ends. The vocals are passionate, the lyrics are mystical, and the arrangement is cinematic. It's hard to believe something this ambitious came from a band often associated with fuzzed-out teen anthems. Had it been released by a more established psych band, or maybe included in a major film soundtrack, this could have been huge. Holy are you. Holy are you. Instead, it became a hidden treasure buried in a forgotten concept album. It's a bold, beautiful track that deserved a much wider audience. Number 4, Julia Dream by Pink Floyd. Before Dark Side of the Moon took them to the stratosphere, Pink Floyd was in a deeply experimental, transitional phase, and Julia Dream is a perfect example of that eerie in-between. Released as the B-side to It Would Be So Nice in 1968, Julia Dream often gets overshadowed, but it's one of their most haunting early tracks. Rick Wright on lead vocals, the song is slow, melodic, and dripping in echo. Mellotron swells and reversed reverb effects create a dreamlike haze, while the lyrics hint at loneliness, longing, and disconnection. It doesn't scream for attention, but it seeps in. It's the kind of track you stumble upon late at night and feel like you've uncovered a secret. Had it been released as an A-side or tied to a major album, it could have gained far more recognition. It's an early glimpse of the atmospheric sound that Pink Floyd would later perfect, and a quiet gem that deserves a louder legacy. Number 5. Morning Sunshine by the Idle Race. This track feels like sunshine through a kaleidoscope, and it's criminal that it never broke through. Morning Sunshine, tucked into the Idle Race's 1968 debut album The Birthday Party, is a soft psych pop masterpiece. Jeff Lynne, who would later become the mastermind behind Electric Light Orchestra, was already showcasing his gift for melody and lush arrangements here. The track opens with gentle acoustic guitar, layered vocals, and orchestration that's both whimsical and melancholic. It has a distinct British charm. Somewhere between early Bee Gees and Syd Barrett-era Floyd, but with a warmth all its own. Despite its charm, the song and the band never got the exposure they deserved. Blame it on poor promotion, bad timing, or just getting lost in the wave of bigger psychedelic acts at the time. But make no mistake, Morning Sunshine had all the ingredients to be a hit. It just needed the right ears to hear it. Number 6. The Otherside by The Apple. Here's a track that feels like it was made to soundtrack a surreal dream sequence, but hardly anyone's ever heard it. The Otherside by The Apple is obscure even by obscure standards. Released in 1968 on their sole album An Apple a Day, this song drips with that unmistakable British psych rock atmosphere. Fluttering organ lines, hypnotic guitar textures, and slightly off-kilter vocals that somehow work. What's wild is that this song actually balances catchy pop sensibility with pure psychedelia. The chorus sticks with you, and the arrangement has depth. Like a Beatles B-side that wandered into darker territory. It's mysterious, melodic, and full of strange charm. The Apple had potential, but with only one album and no real label push, they faded into near-complete obscurity. The Otherside deserved better. It's the kind of lost track that makes you want to dig deeper into the crates, a psychedelic sleeper that still holds up, and still hasn't been heard by enough people. Number 7. In My Mind's Eye by Ramesses and Selkut. Now, this one feels like a transmission from another planet. In My Mind's Eye by Ramesses and Selkut is a psychedelic oddity released in 1968 that most people have never even heard of. And that's exactly what makes it so compelling. Ramesses, a former central heating salesman who believed he was a reincarnated Egyptian pharaoh, made music unlike anyone else. This track, recorded with his wife, stage name Selkut, is lo-fi, surreal, and strangely captivating. The instrumentation is minimal. Gentle acoustic guitar, eerie background effects, and an almost whispered vocal delivery that feels deeply personal, yet otherworldly. There's a trance-like quality to it that predates some of the ambient and experimental folk movements of the 70s. Had it been released under a more conventional name, or backed by a better label, it might have found a cult following much sooner. As it stands, it's a buried artifact of psychedelic folk rock that still sounds ahead of its time.
Some velvet morning when I'm straight.
Number 8. Some Velvet Morning by Lee Hazelwood and Nancy Sinatra. Some Velvet Morning is one of the most unusual and most hypnotic duets ever recorded. Released in 1968, this track paired Lee Hazelwood's brooding baritone with Nancy Sinatra's ethereal vocals in a structure that defied all norms. Hazelwood's verses march at a steady, almost menacing pace, while Sinatra floats in and out with dreamy melodies about a mysterious figure named Phaedra. The song shifts tempos, moods, and even genres, all within a few minutes. It was too strange for AM radio and too pop-oriented for the underground, so it slipped between the cracks. But in hindsight, this song was revolutionary, blending psychedelic rock, orchestral pop, and storytelling in a way that feels completely singular.
Look at us, but do not touch.
Some Velvet Morning didn't chart high, but it gained critical respect over time, influencing artists across genres. It's one of those songs that sticks with you and makes you wonder how it never became a massive hit.
Without going out of my door.
Number 9. The Inner Light by the Beatles. Yes, the Beatles had obscure songs too, especially when they were hidden on B-sides. The Inner Light was released in 1968 as the flip side to Lady Madonna, and it marked the first time a Beatles song was entirely sung by George Harrison. Even more interesting? It was recorded with Indian musicians in Bombay, making it one of the band's most experimental forays into Eastern sounds. Sitar, tabla, and other traditional instruments dominate the track, creating a peaceful, meditative atmosphere unlike anything else in their catalog. It was a continuation of Harrison's spiritual and musical journey, and a rare glimpse into how far the band was willing to push boundaries. Because it wasn't featured on a proper studio album, The Inner Light remained overlooked by casual fans. But it's a gorgeous piece of psychedelic world music that showcased Harrison's evolution as a songwriter and the Beatles' willingness to explore well beyond the rock and roll norm. Number 10. Dr. Please by Blue Cheer. Let's close with a heavy hitter that somehow flew under the radar. Dr. Please by Blue Cheer, from their 1968 debut Vinspus Eruptum, is a sonic punch to the gut. While the band is often credited with helping invent heavy metal, this track in particular shows just how far ahead of the curve they really were. It's loud, unhinged, and fuzzed out to the extreme. The riffs are thunderous, the vocals are desperate, and the overall feel is more chaotic than controlled. And yet, there's a raw, primal energy to it that pulls you in. It's proto-metal, proto-grunge, just pure sonic rebellion. If the mainstream had been ready for something this intense in 1968, Dr. Please could have been a game changer. Instead, it was largely ignored outside of underground circles. It's the kind of song that makes you wonder, if it came out just 5 years later, would it have made them legends? And there you have it. 10 hidden tracks from 1968 that were too cool, too weird, or just too far ahead of their time to go mainstream. Which one was your favorite? Have you heard any of these before? Or did we just blow your musical mind a little? Let us know in the comments. If you love forgotten rock, deep cuts, and musical what could have beens, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss a beat. Until next time, stay curious, keep digging, and keep the good stuff loud.